We're back. It's episode 20. Dane, how you feeling?
All I feel is pain. My knees genuinely hurt.
Yeah,
my Achilles hurt.
Why do you think that is?
Mainly because I proved everybody wrong today because I'm a champion.
Everybody? Are you
Everyone.
serious? Everyone
All
wrong.
the haters, they were out in the thicket last night.
Well, it sounds like we have a lot to talk about this
All
week.
of the haters.
This is going to be an exciting episode. So,
It's
yes,
gonna be great.
I hope you enjoy listening to this week of the Until Next Week podcast.
Coming at you.
Peace. What's up, everybody? We're back.
I think we should draft our favorite sunscreens.
That, really? Is there even enough to draft at this point? How many have you actually used in your life?
I don't know. Millions, maybe.
I think that could be the content that really brings in the masses. I know they really want to know our thoughts on different sunscreens and different sunscreen brands.
As somebody in the red community, you have to keep that thing on you at all times. I have some in my car.
Honestly, we're trying to figure out that niche group of people, and that might be the group we need to reach for.
Redheaded people?
Yeah, I think you got a good grasp on how they act about everything, so let's get that sunscreen going.
I have a stranglehold on that community.
But yeah, maybe later in this episode we'll discuss sunscreens a bit more, but I don't want to go too far without letting you know we have a new country.
Who is it? Could it be the homeland?
This is especially relevant with our draft because number 8 of the countries that have listened to us, it is Ireland.
The homeland.
Yes,
Finally.
home of redheads and Irish people
And potatoes.
But
also, I'm not Irish. I'm Scottish.
what's the difference?
What do you mean what's the difference? One is Scotland and one is Ireland.
I need you to explain what the difference is.
Well, number one, we never back down. We wake up at 4 a.m. We never say never.
Never say never. You're a Justin Bieber fan there?
I don't know. Is that a song of his?
Never say never. It literally was like his movie. That
He had a movie?
came out. Yeah, I mean, I think it was just a concert movie.
Justin Bieber is worse than Taylor Swift, easily.
I would tend to agree. Yeah, Taylor Swift is better, but I do like some of the old Biebs.
Harry Styles, Justin Bieber, not worth listening to.
I would go Bieber. I like Bieber over Harry Styles, and honestly, Bieber has some good hits. "Holy" with Chance the Rapper.
Nope.
Solid song.
I've heard that one. Not good.
It's good. I like it. It's a vibe.
The only thing I've ever done in reference to him is grow out my hair like him and swoopy it in middle school.
Please don't do that
Well, I
ever
can't
again.
do it now.
I mean, you could.
My hair's too thick to do it. It doesn't move when I do it.
When's the last time you tried to grow it out like that?
7th grade.
And you're not in 7th grade anymore?
No. I wish I was. That'd be a good time.
Yeah, I mean, and hey. Yeah. We'll talk more about that later. Sort of, kind of. Mainly just old summer days.
Oh, I remember now.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I didn't really know what I was talking about either. And of course you guys didn't because you're just listening. You're here for the journey. And we, or Taylor Swift or Justin
We'll take
Bieber.
on a wild journey, baby.
Yeah. Do you just call me baby or is this the listeners?
Anyway. The answer may surprise you.
But yeah, we got a new country, Ireland. Thanks for listening. Thanks for clicking. I hope you listen for more than 2 minutes.
Welcome aboard, compatriots.
Honestly, if you listen for 1 minute, it'll show we have a listener in Ireland. So
That's so true.
please listen again. Tell all your Irish friends. And we hope to do a live podcast there someday.
That'd be fun.
It would be. If we had a big enough community there, it's like worth us going. That'd be pretty sweet.
Well, if they pay our tickets and for us to take weeks off work and
How long would it take to go there to do one live podcast?
I don't know, more than a day, so like 4 days.
That would be pretty sweet.
You'd
That would be awesome.
You'd honestly probably have to take a week off work to go do that.
It would be worth it.
It would be worth it.
If they pay for everything. So I know it's only one of you right now, unless it could have been one play in a giant group of people. They could have been like one of the Irish soccer stadiums. They're like, hey, let's listen to this podcast. So we actually have 28,000 Irish listeners.
Well, I can only assume that to be true about all of our listeners. Therefore, we're probably in the millions.
This is huge.
Has
Literally.
to be.
I'm excited now. Man, this will be a good week.
We will never be behind Wizards with pants again, or in pants. I don't know.
I don't know if we ever discussed that. Whenever we briefly were top 200.
We're not?
It varies a lot week to week.
I get that.
Yeah, if you have a really good week, you can jump up the rankings.
I don't care what anybody says. We're top 1 million.
Yeah, for sure, top 1 million. I think that's for any podcast. We're top 1 million.
Depends. I mean, we're the best.
Oh, yeah, sponsor of the week depends. For when we age, we got depends.
Dang it.
But Dane, we talk about Ireland and everything else, and our massive listening, and how we're really just thriving in this podcasting atmosphere. Yes. But you're a champion in another way. Do you want to go into that a bit more?
I brought a championship home to Scotland and Germany and England.
And Ireland.
And more importantly, America.
America, yes.
Because today was the Pickleball's 3rd annual half marathon.
And not pickleballs.
Not pickleballs.
Pickle bulls. So you take a pickle and you take a bull and you combine it and you get a pickle bowl.
If you want to know more about that, message Stephanie Broadwater.
Or follow the @Until Next Week podcast on Instagram, and we can send you links to know more about the pickle bowls.
And subscribe to our Patreon or something.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, as long as you leave us 5 stars.
You send me $1, I'll send you a newsletter every week.
Yeah.
Not true. Actually, I take that back.
Okay, no. But send him $1 anyway after you send me $1. But really, you're a champion. So why are you a champion?
Well, I'm a champion by not getting first. And
okay. What were you doing?
So it was a half marathon, 13.1 miles.
Okay.
And
you're not good enough to do a full marathon?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Because ask me the furthest length that I've ever run in my life before today.
What's the furthest length you've ever run in your life before today?
7th grade, 8 miles.
A lot of stuff happened in 7th grade, it sounds like. You had a bowl cut like Bieber, and you ran 7 miles in 7th grade.
And I was diagnosed with a disease.
We might talk about that next week. Who knows?
No, but so.
Mm-hmm.
Today was their 3rd annual half marathon. And so I got bullied into signing up for it by a young fellow.
Mm-hmm.
And because he said, hey, we've ran a 5K together. You could totally run this half marathon. And I said, well, isn't that like 10 more miles? He goes, yeah, if you can run 3 miles, you can run 13.
It's the same thing, basically.
And I was like, sure. And so I signed up for it and did absolutely zero training.
But you know what? Zero training can lead to a lot of success in life. Because when I saw the Instagram story for the Pickleballs, it showed you running through a finish line and people are cheering, and I was like, dang, Dane won this. I was wrong, I found out when I came to talk to you today.
I got like 14th out of 20.
So in other words, you got a participation trophy is what you're saying.
No, a participation medal.
Okay. I didn't actually see. So they had a ribbon for you to run through, but did they have to run up in the middle of the race because you weren't going to finish the 13 miles?
No, I finished the 13 miles.
Okay. It's kind of like whenever they show like the last person finishing a marathon, everybody starts clapping and cheering, and you get more cheers than the first like 100 people.
Yes.
Did they feel sorry for you?
Maybe, but also no, because I emphatically told everybody yesterday, hey, I have not trained for this. The only thing I've done for this is I hydrated all day yesterday, and that was it. Did not run. I haven't ran before today in like a month and a half. And
how are you feeling now?
The knees really hurt. The Achilles are a little tight. The hips are tighter than a snare drum, but what's new?
You know the best thing about this? Typically, you feel much worse like 2 or 3 days after.
Well, that's just great news.
And you're already feeling pretty bad a few hours afterwards.
Yeah, it's not good. But it feels real achy in the knees. But
I'm curious. Do you know what your time was?
Yes. It was on my wrist.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get it. Here it is. 2 hours and 21 minutes.
What time did the race start?
Started at 8.
Okay. I texted you yesterday, and today is Saturday, May 13th.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, Dane, you want to record tomorrow morning? He's like, yeah, I got a half marathon, but we can do it right after, like 9 o'clock, 10. I'm like, I don't think this adds up correctly, because if it started at 8 and it took you over 2 hours to finish.
Yeah.
That's after 10, and you originally said like 9.
Depends.
So I woke up, again, depends, one of the sponsors. Yeah, I messaged you multiple times. I wasn't getting a response. I feel like you were probably passed out or just in too much pain where you couldn't actually read the messages I was sending you.
A little of both.
Yeah, I'm glad you overestimated your abilities. That's always great for athletics and any other part of your life.
Well, last night, whenever I was telling people I haven't trained for this, they were like, you're not going to be able to run this. You're going to go to the hospital and things like that.
And I'm sorry I interrupted you there.
And
but I feel like one of those people, I feel. Did anybody like make a bet with you about it, whether you could finish?
A lot of people made a bet of if I was going to live or not.
Mm-hmm.
However, a substantial bet was made from a young man in our K-Life leadership group named Keaton Bliss.
Oh, love that guy.
Love that guy. Good friend of the pod.
He's very blissful.
Dang it. But last night we were at a going away party for another dear friend.
Mm-hmm.
And what was discussed, everybody was like, you're not going to be able to do it, blah, blah, blah.
And was that exactly what I said? We're going to go on and can't do it.
All of the females there did not think I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the males were like, I mean, you're athletic, but you're not that athletic. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then he goes, you're not going to be able to run the whole thing. I was like, first off, do you know who I am? I'm the best.
I'm Dane Biesmeyer.
Mofo and Biesmeyer. And so he goes, no, it's just not going to happen. I'm like, all right, then what are we betting? And he goes, I don't know. Then after like 20 minutes, we came down to the conclusion of if I were to win, he would have to wear a dress to the first K-Life meeting in the fall. That happens.
Like I was about to say Lord of the Rings. That's not what I was thinking.
No,
I was thinking Little House on the Prairie, Little House on the Prairie dress, or like a dress you'd wear to prom as a sophomore in high school.
I was thinking sundress.
Okay. That I feel like that fits him better.
I might be confused if he wears a sundress, but
Whoa!
I'm kidding.
Do not grow out your hair, Keaton.
Dang it. But if he won, then I would have to wear jean shorts the same length as a female's jean shorts.
So we're talking shorty shorts.
We're talking pretty short. It's going to be, let's just say, uncomfortable. And
in more ways than one.
And I would have to wear this cutoff that I own called that my dad wore in the 80s when he was in college, and it says "The Rats Are Back" on it with a rat on it.
I find it funny. They're like, yeah, I have to wear this thing that I own, which means you've worn it before. So that doesn't seem like too big of a deal.
I wear it to basketball sometimes.
Do you also own a pair of shorty shorts?
No. Well, short-ish, but not that short.
So basically, you'll just have to wear what you normally would wear during the summer.
Yeah, and I also have to complete the ensemble with cowboy boots.
So again, stuff you would wear during the summer.
Yeah, I got to wear it around all the new recruits and everything like that. It's going to be great.
Yeah. It sounds like you did not have as bad of a punishment as Keaton.
Well, that was the point because the odds were overwhelmingly in his favor.
Yeah.
It was like 100 to 1.
100. Yeah, I'm surprised you're recording right now. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that's true because people who do not train usually die.
In every aspect of life, whether it's in your job, sports, anything else, you just
Opening
die.
a beverage.
Yeah, you die.
You die.
Yeah.
So I ran it in 2 hours and 21 minutes. I ran 9 miles. Easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. Actually, they were pretty easy 9 miles. And
First 9 of the easy ones.
First 9 of the easy ones. Side note. Running in the morning, so much easier than running in the afternoon.
Because it's not burning hot.
Well, it's not burning hot. I have all of my energy.
You're still waking up. You can't really process all the pain you're in.
Exactly. That's the point. I think that's bigger than the heat. But mile 9, I'm like, it's getting a little tough out here.
Is that Eminem's album?
No, that's 9 Mile.
Hey.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is. Close enough. But yeah, keep going.
I was in that movie.
I haven't either, but it's...
I said I was in that movie.
Oh, you were in that movie?
I was in that movie.
You would have been like a baby.
Yeah?
Yeah?
I was rapping.
Yeah? Ryan Lochte. The only reason I said that, back in the day, he used to have a keyword, Gia, like Jeah.
Dang it.
And that's back when he had a show like on VH1. Everybody's like, why did he have a show? This is kind of weird.
Old Ryan.
But yeah, we'll keep going.
Mile 9. It's great. We're breezing through it. I'm like, okay, now it's starting to get a little tough. And then I go all the way to mile 11, and I went up and over this like bridge that goes over Kansas Expressway street here in Springfield, which is straight up and then straight down. And then I run under this bridge, and as soon as I come out from under that bridge, I almost collapse, and I get up and I start walking.
Wait, but I thought if you start walking, then he wins the bet.
He does win the bet.
But he didn't see this?
He didn't see it. Nobody saw it.
So if he listens to this right now, you might have just put yourself in a pickle. So this isn't be a true factor like, hey, Keaton, are you listening to the podcast? Because if you aren't, you have to be wearing a sundress.
I could lie to him and say that. However, I told him I wouldn't lie to him. And at mile 11, I walked, and then I ran the rest of it.
Way to go. I'm proud of you.
And running it, I almost threw up. I was like, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I was like, you're not doing this.
So
Not today.
But you kept all the fluids in.
Yeah, I didn't throw up. And
Yep.
oh, wait, I see what you did there. I can't mention what he's talking about, but it's
Other
great.
fluids left his body.
Dang, ew.
You can make guesses in the comments below.
Ew. But I don't know if I should mention that part.
Oh, you can do whatever you want.
Well, the fluids leaving the body happened whilst running,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't throwing up.
Mm-hmm.
So
He was well hydrated, if you remember. So we can keep going.
Dang it. But yeah, so then we run, we finish or whatever. I get there, like towards the end, I'm feeling good. And then I finish and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty all right, whatever. And somebody comes up behind me and does that thing where you have your knee locked out and then they hit the back of your knee.
Why would they do that?
Oh my goodness. I almost fell down.
Did they run or were they just there
No,
to
they
cheer
didn't
on?
run.
Oh, who was this person? It doesn't matter really.
Yeah.
You don't need to say actually.
Dang it. Yeah. And then other people are like, what are you doing? And he goes, I forgot. What do you mean you forgot? The whole thing that we're at is a half marathon.
What do you think? We're not just here to hang out
Yeah.
in the morning, you know?
But then I go to shower and I have 4 blisters on my feet.
Yeah, that's the worst. I hate blisters on the feet.
Turns out they really burn in the shower.
But it means you're cleaning them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah,
And
I'm proud of you for
who
cleaning
needs
those.
that?
But yeah, that's pretty much been your day. And
Yeah.
that's why we're here.
And then
right
you
now.
found me incapacitated.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the
I walked into his house, actually Jake Trustin's house, sponsor of the
big
pod.
sponsor.
And I looked over into the darkness, and there's just a figure laying out on the couch. So I can't tell if he's dead or alive. And then Lane just comes up and be like, I think you'll have to move him. And I'm like, is that Dane? Like, yes, that was Dane.
Yeah.
He looked pretty dead. So I got the whole podcast studio set up, and we're recording now. You are feeling better. You got a little second life.
Well, sitting here, I don't have to do a whole lot. It's from the waist up, I'm fine. Everything's great.
Yeah, yeah.
But from the waist down, it's not good.
Yeah, yeah. Completely understandable.
Yeah, pretty expected.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for sharing all that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a traumatic moment.
So it sounds like you had a pretty good morning, but it sounds like you had an even better week because you were getting more DMs about the podcast, and you said you would read this on the air. I don't know what this is. It could be positive. It could be negative. It could honestly just be made up. I don't really know. But Dane, do you have this pulled up?
I do have it pulled up.
Could you please read it to the Until Next Weekers?
This person reached out to me and said, listening to your new podcast about how Samuel overslept, ask him about how he has full conversations with people that he doesn't remember at all when he's laying down. He claims he was sleeping. He's done this so many times over the years, you can't trust he'll remember anything unless he's standing up.
Is this Rebecca?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I said, haha, yes, he's a forgetful young man. I'll be sure to mention it on the pod this weekend, and I'll even surprise him live on the air. And she said, great. He's not forgetful. It's as if he was talking in his sleep and has absolutely no recollection of what he said. I have multiple witnesses, mainly my mother.
Yeah, I have trained myself well over the years. I enjoy my rest, and when I am sleeping and my alarm does not go off, I don't want to wake up. So if people, like while growing up, would come into my room and try to talk to me, I trained myself to be able to have, complete conversations while being asleep.
Yeah.
And even be able to convince people like she said. And this has happened a multitude of times, and there have been other times where it's almost like gotten me in trouble because it's like, hey, why didn't you do whatever? Or why didn't you do this? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, we had a full conversation this morning. I'm like, well, I was asleep. Like, but you talked to me. I'm like, yeah, but I was asleep. I don't know what's happening. And this actually reminds me of something else.
Go on.
This is more just me being purely exhausted in high school.
Obviously.
I went to a Need to Breathe concert back in like 2014.
Great sponsor of the pod.
Yeah, and I was like exhausted all day. It was a late concert, and it got to the point even during the concert where they started doing an encore. I'm like, no, just stop. I want to go home and sleep. But I also had like a Spanish project I had to finish up.
Me gusta.
I went to turn in the Spanish project the next morning, and I apparently had started doing math problems on the Spanish project. I'm like, I don't remember any of this.
¿Por qué?
Like, yeah. I'm like, be serious. Like, are you going to turn in the project? I'm like, I have to make a quick adjustment. So it's kind of, I think it was almost like an art project in a way. So I had to like draw over it, and it made no sense. I don't know why. I was randomly doing like algebra or geometry on this. Maybe it was like some formula that could have cured, I don't know, cancer.
Could have been anything.
It could have been,
I don't know. The Coca-Cola secret formula.
I don't know what's happening in like my subconscious. But yeah, I can do math when I'm asleep and don't even realize it.
And drunk.
Nope, not drunk.
Oh, okay.
Yep, only drink coffee around here. But yeah,
and
Mountain Dew,
of course,
and Mountain Dew,
of course.
I can't forget Mountain Dew.
I immediately had a Mountain Dew after the race today.
That's a great way to recover. You know, they always say drinking lots of soda is great for athletes. So when you're like dead exhausted, drink more.
Well, I didn't have any soda at all yesterday. I had water and Pedialyte. That's all I had.
Way to go!
And because quick story, brief story. My ex-girlfriend, one of them, tried to get me to quit drinking soda. I said no, but I will quit drinking soda in the name of glory.
Amen. That's so random.
I know, it's great.
But yeah, it's probably an issue. It probably just means I need to sleep more and actually get to bed at decent times and not stay up and be a night owl.
When do you stay up till?
I don't need to discuss this.
It's 4.
It's way too late. I think it was kind of bad before COVID, and then COVID just destroyed it because it was getting to the point where I was going to bed as the sun was coming up.
Ew.
I'm like, this is not healthy, and I haven't completely fixed that to this point. It's not that extreme.
Well, how do you do work?
Sleep.
Sounds like
I told you before I can do a lot of stuff in my sleep. That's one of them. Not really.
I'm going to say their name on the pod.
No, don't need to say that because I'll just delete it out. And don't even try to because I don't want to do more editing than is needed for this podcast.
So true.
But yeah, just some crazy stuff. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sending the message in, Rebecca. Way to go. She's almost caught up on the pod. She told me today, it's like, hey, you going to record the podcast? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I'm almost caught up. I'm like, cool. Send us more stuff if you want us to talk about it.
Better than many can say.
Yeah. Many.
All of our friends.
There are some people who are like, yeah, I just listened to like the first episode or two. I'm like, it's not the same podcast.
It's not the same.
We're drastically better.
Yeah.
We're more consistent, have a better flow. We don't sound as awkward. And
we have an intro music now.
We have a little bit of everything. We have closing music. Inclusion music.
We have closing music. We've had 2 people on the pod since then.
More than that in a way.
Yeah, Lindsay's been on via phone call.
Multiple times.
And Daniel Reed.
And then also Lane's jumped on, Jake's
so true
jumped on. Like
Pretty sure in the first few they weren't on.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we have had major upgrades in our life in this podcast.
Yeah.
And you know who also has had a major upgrade in their life?
Nobody in particular.
LeBron James. Because he's 38 years old.
He's a bum.
38 is pretty great. And he knocked out Steph Curry. LeBron is the GOAT. Lane agrees with me. He shook his head, yes.
Samuel, I have
no.
I have 3 questions to ask you.
Okay. Do you want to put your Steph Curry jersey on again before you ask me these questions?
I have 3 Steph Curry jerseys.
Okay.
So you're going to have to be more specific.
Yeah, as soon as you wore that first jersey, they started losing.
That's just not true.
Okay.
But also,
are they still in the playoffs?
What jersey am I wearing right now?
No, you're not doing great because you're wearing a Cowboys jersey. You only wear losers.
No.
As of this point in time.
Specifically a Tony Romo jersey. For everybody out there.
Losers.
He's not a loser. He's a wonderful young man.
He's great at golf.
He is great at golf. And so is Steph Curry.
Yep. So at least they're good at one sport.
Yeah. Well, great's relative in golf.
Steph Curry is awesome. I do
my
really
questions are,
like him. He's awesome. Sweet.
Do you know who since 1968 leads the NBA in finals losses?
Do you know who also leads the NBA in finals appearances?
That would be LeBron James.
In final appearances.
Do you know who leads the NBA in finals losses since 2000 by himself?
Who is that?
LeBron James. Do you know who has the highest points per game total in the finals in NBA history?
Who is that?
That would be Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm. I think you have forgotten some specific stats are important. Do you know how many finals appearances Michael Jordan, for example, made it to?
He has 6.
How many years did he play in the NBA? Like, what, 15?
14.
So that means 8 years he didn't even make it to the finals. So are you saying it's better losing in the first round than losing in the finals?
I'm saying it's better to win more finals.
But he didn't make it to the finals 9 years.
All I'm saying
So are you saying if he would have made the finals those 9 years but lost all those hypothetically?
Yeah, that would have been a failure.
So, okay. So
I am not on the LeBron, on the Giannis train.
Michael is the best. But if he would have made more finals instead of losing in one of the first rounds, but losing in those finals, it makes him worse?
Yes. I have a hot take.
This is the logic of a lot of fans nowadays, and it does not make sense.
I have a hot take.
Yes.
I am from the school of Hal Steinbrenner, the Yankees owner. Mm-hmm. If you do not win the World Series championship, then it's a failure of a season.
Okay, but Michael Jordan did not even make the finals 9 different years.
9 failures.
So he was 6-0, perfect in the finals, but not really perfect in life.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
I think it's a really poor argument, especially when you look at the teams. Some of those losses were against, if you remember, the 73 win Warriors they beat. They came back 3-1. And then the next year, they added Kevin Durant to the 73 win team, one of the best players in the NBA.
Sure.
LeBron, it was like him and 4 other random dudes.
We could skip the context.
A washed Kevin Love, Kyrie, who was
He was
trying
not
to leave.
washed.
He was kind of washed.
He was just
one of
the
those
third player.
years. Both of them were injured. It was literally just LeBron and then some random people.
Yeah,
and then, they still won like 2 games.
And then the NBA sent LeBron a stimulus package.
I meant to say. LeBron won 2 games. They didn't win 2 games. LeBron did.
LeBron also had 51 points in game 1.
You remember that Dellavedova guy? Matthew Dellavedova?
Yeah, he's a GOAT.
He was one of the best players on the team.
He's the best Australian player
LeBron.
ever.
I don't think you can compare
the
teams. Because LeBron, every year he won, he had Pippen.
Yeah.
I think he also had Rodman for almost all of them.
3 of them.
And he also had Steve Kerr, who while he wasn't one of the best players, he had one of the highest 3-point percentage shots in the NBA.
Yeah, in the 90s when nobody shot threes.
Yes, and that's the whole point.
More context.
He had a much better team. And yes, LeBron is great, but Michael was amazing at shooting. But if you look at his other stats, especially with LeBron and everything else, LeBron is a pass-first player, which is why he averages 7 to 10 assists per game.
Yeah, betas usually are.
Michael Jordan had 7 to 10 assists total in his career.
Yeah, I know, because he wanted the ball.
Yeah, but I mean, LeBron could do that, but he also is a more well-rounded player, which is why he's one of the top assist player in NBA history.
Yeah.
He is top in points, and they also, I think, is raising the ranks and rebounds as well.
Also, LeBron has had more All-Stars on his team than Michael ever had on his team. Michael never didn't win the championship with an All-Star on his team, except for once. And that's because Scottie Pippen sat out in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals with a migraine.
Wait, what?
So
are you saying Scottie? But
when Scottie became an All-Star in '90, he won the championship every year after that, and that was his first All-Star player he ever played with.
But he was also he was with a Hall of Fame player. And then he played with another Hall of Famer in Rodman.
Yeah.
I think there might have been other Hall of Fame players potentially in the mix.
Anthony Davis and Kyrie are Hall of Famers.
Kyrie is hard to say.
It depends. Kyrie is hard.
Yeah, and he also, again, he was injured for a lot of the games.
I do despise Kyrie and AD, though. Did you see AD had to be wheeled out in a wheelchair?
I think I heard... Originally, he might have had a concussion and got wheeled out. I think he
didn't have a concussion. They checked him for concussion. He did not have a concussion, and then he exited the building in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
He's the softest player I know.
But he had 20 rebounds yesterday when it mattered, when they knocked out the Warriors.
Steph
essentially ended the Warriors' dynasty.
Clay is washed.
It will be Steph Curry.
It's not over.
I mean, I don't know if they'll re-sign Clay. He might be gone.
He's got one more year.
Draymond might be gone.
Draymond's going to pick up
They might trade Jordan Poole. It might just be Steph and whoever they put around him.
Man, honestly, it's going to be tough because Clay's got one more year. Draymond is going to pick up his player option for $25 million because he's not going to get that anywhere else. Mm-hmm. And Wiggins is going to be back, and then Poole's going to be back. And even though I despise Jordan Poole with all of my might, because he has never made an intelligent decision in his life, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really tough. And looking out there, the closeout game that we've mentioned, Steph had 32 or 36. And then the next leading scorers were Andrew Wiggins with 8, Klay Thompson with 7, Jordan Poole with 6. Jordan Poole, in the entire series, I don't think scored in the double digits.
Yeah, and he's a max contract player.
That's tough.
That's rough. He had a one really good year or 2 really good years. It's maybe aren't that good.
He was really coming up in what year are we in? 2021?
Yeah.
He's really coming up then when Clay was still out. And then last year, obviously amazing.
He did what he needed to get the bags.
Exactly.
And then
now he's out.
Yeah. But, we actually weren't going to talk about the Lakers that much.
Yeah.
Because the main point of this episode was to talk about the best summer days. True. And I'm saying our best summer days when we were kids.
Yeah. Comparing
it to what the best summer days would be for us now. And maybe how the differences are and everything else.
And we go through the full day.
Yeah, we're going to go through the full day.
Which, do we start back in the day or current?
We'll go back in the day. Yeah, go back in the day, obviously.
Back in the day first.
We'll kind of tell you, hopefully you can relate to this a little bit, or maybe you have
What age range, roughly?
I'm probably thinking more like middle school-ish age, maybe a little younger.
Ooh.
And honestly, I don't know exactly where I'm going to go with this, but we're going to start off. So,
all right, go ahead.
The best summer day
Dun, dun, dun.
segment.
Explosion.
I'm going back to 2009.
Ooh.
It's a beautiful
That's when Steph
summer,
Curry was drafted.
School's out. I'm actually homeschooled during this time, so I mean, school's out
Nice.
anyways.
Always out.
But everybody else is done school as well. So there
Nice.
seems like there's more freedom. The weather is much nicer. It's hot out. It's a beautiful day. And you know what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm going to go to swim practice in the morning. And, some people might not have this in their best day, but it would get me up a little early. I get a good workout in, get some good competition with friends. It's a good start. And we're going to make this is a Saturday. So that means I only have morning practice. From there, I'm going to go by Chick-fil-A. I'm going to be taken there by my parents, and they will get me a Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit.
You could drive.
At 12?
On your best day.
Well, okay, yeah, I'm driving at age 12. I'm getting a chicken biscuit, getting some hash browns. Honestly, I will just go with the nice ice water as well. That's just a clean, good breakfast, and that's what I'm doing. So after that, I'm going home, and most likely, I'll probably fall asleep for an hour or so, get a nice little nap in. I got to be
pretty
energized for my best day. From there, I'm probably going out into my backyard, and I'm going to be playing some wiffle ball with my younger brother, David,
Not your neighbor?
No, I didn't really play with my neighbors.
Who's your neighbor?
I don't know.
Abby Palmer.
Oh, she wasn't around back, or maybe she was. I don't know if she was a neighbor back then. Who knows?
Okay.
I didn't really hang out with them. They were younger.
She is young.
But I would play some wiffle ball. Fun time to be alive, I think that honestly is what made me as good as I was in baseball and sports and like my competitiveness. So would go one-on-one wiffle ball, would have a strike zone set up. A lot of times, I think we usually would have walks involved, but it was fun because I was 12 and my younger brother was like 9, so obviously I had the dominant factor at that point. But he was also very good.
He tries.
And typically it would be like a 2 or 3 inning game because when you have no fielders, you get a lot of runs.
It is tough.
We would have some times where like the score would be like 20 plus to like 20 plus. Like it was nuts. And then occasionally if I was feeling really good pitching, then maybe I could shut them down. But a lot of scoring, but a good day. From there, going to get some lunch. It could be a lot of different routes. I'm probably just eating at home.
Boo.
But if I'm going somewhere, we're going back to Chick-fil-A. We're getting a chicken sandwich. We're getting fries. And actually, this best day happened to land on National Cow Appreciation Day. Yes, National Cow Appreciation Day. I dressed like a cow, and I'm going to Chick-fil-A to get a free meal and whatever I want because it's free. So I'm getting a chicken Cool Wrap.
It's free on National Cow Day?
Yeah, they haven't done it in a few years.
Yeah, because they probably massively lost money.
Well, no. They still do it. The reason they didn't do it was because of COVID. And then they didn't do it in 21 kind of because of COVID. And then 22 because it was like slightly because of COVID. And then I think they might bring it back this year. But it was awesome.
We need to keep the people informed on that.
So for breakfast, also, I got that for free because I dressed like a cow. And then for lunch, I'm getting it for free because I dressed like a cow.
Dang
a
it.
Chicken Cool Wrap, fries, creamy salsa dressing, or back then they might have been spicy dressing before they changed their sauces around.
Yeah.
From there, I would go to the Chick-fil-A in the mall and do the same thing and get my second lunch.
Okay.
And then I would go to the Chick-fil-A on Sunshine to get my third lunch. At least one of those lunches will go back in the fridge for a later time.
You're crazy.
Yeah, but it was great. And people would be like, you're crazy, but I'm getting a lot of free food. And it was fun. From there, I could go a lot of different routes, but I think I'm going to go to the swimming pool.
Again.
Not for practice, but just like a neighborhood pool. And when I'm there, we might jump off the diving board some, kind of show off some of my swimming abilities.
Yeah.
But then occasionally play some water baseball.
Samuel P's and pools.
Everybody does.
Dig it.
Play some water baseball, another good time to be alive. And then, some time passes. I might go hang out with friends. I don't know. It could go a lot of different routes. I don't know. Back then we did very much, but occasionally I'd play some tennis baseball with friends. A lot of baseball is just involved because baseball is fun.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the tennis courts, get some tennis balls, get a wiffle ball bat, and we'll just crank dingers nonstop.
Yeah.
We do this for a couple hours before my mom's like, hey, we got to go get more free Chick-fil-A. So I'm going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. I'm dressing like a cow again. I'm going to all 3 locations, getting lots of food.
But if you're
I
13,
went to Chick-fil-A like 7 times that day.
If you're 13, you're not paying for it anyways, right?
Yeah, but we wouldn't go to Chick-fil-A this much otherwise.
That's a
How
good
many times
point.
have you gone to Chick-fil-A 7 times in one day?
Absolute 0 times.
Yeah, I've done it more than once. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, doing the Chick-fil-A route once again, and then to end the day, you know, it could go a lot of different routes. Obviously, I'm not having swim practice that night. You know, I might just kind of be at home and either just kind of hanging with my family, or potentially I might go hang out with friends again, but probably more than likely doing stuff with my family. On some days, I'll maybe go to like a minor league baseball game, but for this situation, I didn't because I had to get the free Chick-fil-A.
Obviously.
So mainly my best day when I was younger is a lot of Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, and swimming.
Yeah. So that's about it. And, you know, a lot of other stuff could happen, but those were some of the highlights. I could have a lot of different best days, you know. There's a lot of best days when you're young, especially during the summer. So that was my best day back then. That took a lot longer than I thought, but I'll do a quick summary of best day now. I wake up. I'm happy that I woke up. I'm still living.
that is how
my best day.
It goes now.
Honestly, I'd have to go to the same thing again. Get Chick-fil-A.
The exact same.
I'm not going the same day. Getting Chick-fil-A, probably just hanging out with friends. You know, on like a perfect day, I'd probably go to Table Rock Lake.
Okay.
You know, get on the boat with whoever that may be.
With
like
SPS 50.
Yep, large group of people.
Dangerous group.
Go tubing. You know, I like driving the boat, so that's kind of fun because some people don't really know how to drive boats, and they're like, "You got a boater's license?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And being a former camp counselor, I drove boats a lot, so I know how to do good routes.
Yeah,
and especially if people are tubing, I know how to get them knocked off that tube.
That's how
It's
you
a
do
good
it.
life.
You got to make people look like a fool.
Yeah, so we're just pretty much at the lake all day for like one of those top days.
Yeah.
And then after all that, we're hungry. We go Chick-fil-A again.
Dang it. You Christians and your Chick-fil-A, man.
To end the night, honestly, probably play some video games. I don't know whether that's with like my family. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 on Xbox 360.
Obviously.
Yeah, split screen, best way.
We're going to do that probably right
Could
after
either
this.
do it with my family or friends, just whatever it may be. And then I stay up too late, and then I go to church the next morning.
But you feel fantastic at church.
I feel great.
Yeah.
Feel great. You know, I'm on that spiritual high from the Chick-fil-A and the swimming and the lake and everything else.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my best days.
What a
then and
wonderful
now.
day.
What are your best days?
So starting 7th grade, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start with pre-disease. So that would be nice. So I wake up in the morning, and at that time, I'm probably getting up at like 11 because I used to be crazy sleeping in. And I wake up, I stroll downstairs, I grab the remote from... Wait, actually, no. We didn't have cable internet at that time. So I walk out into the living room. Lindsay and Cole are there. I tell them we're going outside and we're playing a game, probably baseball.
Yeah.
To which it's Lindsay and Cole versus me because that's how I was growing up. Because
you're better.
I'm the superior athlete, obviously. Yeah. I hit Lindsay with the baseball because she's crowding the plate. That actually happened as a kids. And then she quits and goes inside. I automatically win.
Yeah,
and
that was a good day.
That happened a lot. And then after that, honestly, like... I'm trying to remember, like, is this realistic, like, within the realms of what would happen?
Something that could realistically happen.
Okay. Well, then my dad's not home at this time because we raised ourselves, basically. From the time I turned 10, we didn't have a babysitter.
Okay.
And so...
kind of similar with my side.
Yeah. And way different than kids nowadays. Mm-hmm. And then... So we're still outside. It's not hot outside. It's springish time. Mm-hmm. And it's great. And then I go inside... Dad doesn't know this, but Mom bought me a 12-pack of Mountain Dew.
Oh, God, I'm glad you said Mountain Dew there.
Oh, yeah.
12-pack of beer.
12-pack of beer. No, 12-pack of Dew. And so I brought it back over to our house, and then I'm drinking one, and then we watched George Lopez because that would...
This is on your best day.
Realistically, at the time, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's why I asked if it was realistic.
Yeah, realistically.
And so then I'm like, this is what would happen often in the summer times. And then we're watching George Lopez because we didn't have cable, but we had the rabbit ears that would get us like regular TV, CBS, Fox, whatever.
Of course, yeah, all the important channels.
Yeah, and so then that gets over. Then we watch Martha Speaks, and then
we're going to say Martha Stewart. I'm like, man, you got all the good channels. You got George Lopez and then Martha Stewart. And then the end of the night, listen to some Snoop Dogg, you know?
Oh, no. Yep. And then I probably watch Major League after I bully Lindsay and Cole into letting me watch what movie I want to watch, which is my favorite movie of all time. And then Dad gets home. He's making tacos.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Love tacos. He used to work at Taco Bell when he was in his teens.
That's cool.
So he knows how to make some good tacos.
Yeah.
Good white mom tacos, I should say. And then after that, what's that, Dane? You have a doubleheader tonight in baseball.
Oh, man.
This is fantastic. I pitch in one of them. I just am knocking the ball over the ballpark. It's great. What's that over there? It's my middle school crush who happened to attend the game, and she saw me be really great. And she definitely won't remember this in the school year when we get back, but my little boy brain doesn't realize that at the time. And so I do fantastic. My dad's like, I think that's the best I've ever seen you play, son. And then we go, actually, I don't think he ever took us out for ice cream, but because that's not dinner food, dude.
No,
whatever.
Obviously.
And then what's that? It's 4th of July? This is great.
I was thinking about that earlier. Yeah.
And so we already have the fireworks that we bought 2 days earlier. We go home. We set them off late into the night. This is fantastic.
That's a blast.
And then Mark, once again, which is my dad, by the way, for the people who don't know. Mark runs off the board. The tube falls over. It shoots and hits him in the ankle again. Because
this happened?
This actually happened. It hits him in the ankle and explodes. It was one of those bombshell ones. Boom, big. And he's like, my sock's on fire. It was on fire.
Oh.
Me and Lindsay Cole
This is your best day. Like, yeah, it's on fire.
It was really funny. It was really funny when it happened. Me, Lindsay, and Cole are dying laughing. And then he rips the sock off, and then we keep shooting off fireworks.
That's a good day right there.
That actually happened. And then after that, probably go in. Mark pops in Top Gun. We watch Top Gun while I have another cold dew. And then I go to bed, something fierce. Man, that's a good time.
Now let's hear your best day now.
Best day now.
You wake up, you run a half marathon.
No. Oh, God, no. No, I wake up. I don't have to work today, whatever day that it happens to be.
Saturday.
Sure, why not? Well, actually, yeah, Saturday. Let's go with Saturday. And I don't have any obligations today. All my bills are paid.
You already recorded the podcast.
Yeah, our podcast is already recorded. It's great. And then I'm like, what am I going to do today? What's that? Ring, ring. It's one of my friends saying, hey, Dane, let's go to Gailey's, a local restaurant here in Springfield.
Great breakfast food.
Yeah, get some breakfast. It's on me, brother. Let's go.
Yeah.
In fact, I've invited all these other people. Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it.
And so we go and we smash some El Jefe skillet bowl, and it's great. And I'm like, this is fantastic.
El Jefe.
Yeah, El Jefe is great.
Yeah.
And then I walk out, and then I'm like, oh, wow, it's not too hot, not too cold. It's 65 degrees. I'm like, this is fantastic. And everybody's like, you know what? We should go on a walk, guys.
Yeah.
We should. And so we go walking. And then by that time, I'm like, man, this is shaping up to be a pretty nice day. Everybody's like, you know what we should do, Dan? We should get this whole group of people, invite more people, and go play some little wiffle ball or something in the park.
That could be really good right there.
So we go and we do that. Our team wins. I hit the driving the game-winning run.
I would expect nothing less.
Obviously, because we're a clutch podcast. And then after that, they're like, well, what should we do now? I'm like, well, I don't know, guys. What do you want to do? They go, let's go get a taco 12-pack from Taco Bell and eat it there, because taking it out of there is dumb.
I could eat that by myself.
Yeah. And they're like, again, it's on me, Dane. Yeah. And then I go through the day after that. I'm like, wow, this is great. And then what's that? The Cowboys play somehow at 60.
In the summer?
Well, it could be
Spring?
September.
Okay.
It could be September. It's fall time.
Yep.
Cowboys play at what time would I want that? 3:30. This is fantastic. Let's do this. And then the Cowboys dominate.
Wait, I said realistic.
This is realistic. We're not getting into this again.
Okay. Keep going.
And they dominate again. And then what's that? I have a date tonight.
Wow. We said realistic, Dane.
Well, sorry. That's so true. I take it back. No, I don't.
Yeah.
We go somewhere fancy. What's that? Char. here in town, super fancy.
A fancy steak restaurant.
And what's that? My friend Nathan, who works at Char, said it's on the house tonight.
Everything's free.
That's crazy.
It sounds like Oprah's who you're hanging out with.
Yeah.
You get a free meal. You get a free meal. You get a taco 12-pack.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Oprah.
And then they're like, excuse me, Mr. Dane. I'm like, yes. They go, we accidentally somehow ordered Baja Blast. We don't know how it happened.
At Char.
But we hear tale that you love Baja Blast. Would you and your date like some Baja Blast? I say that's a stupid question. Just bring it to the table.
It's actually on tap. They have like a really nice, like it's a very, I don't know if you want it smooth, but whatever it's perfect as, that's what it is.
That's when she leans in, touches my hand, and said, Dane, I love Baja Blast.
No, she just whispers your ear, Baja Blast.
Ew. But I'm like, this is fantastic. And then it goes swimmingly. She thinks I'm hilarious. And then we leave. I drop her off at her house. I get the door for her and everything like that. She does not open a door. And she didn't, or neither of us had to pay because it was free, so that's fantastic. And then I'm like, have a great night, madam, because what's that? The NBA Finals is on after Actually, that wouldn't happen. It's fall, I guess.
You're all over the place with this. Well, it's your best day, so there you go. You watch highlights of the NBA Finals?
No, that would be lame. What's that? It's similar to the COVID season. They have to play it in the fall.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So it is the NBA
it
Finals.
Could happen.
You're watching the GOAT, LeBron James, go for another championship.
He is in the finals. However, he loses by a lot and gets 0 points. It's 1 rebound. And then,
okay. 18 assists.
And then what's that? Char said that none of their other customers wanted the Baja Blast because they wanted me to take it home. Yeah.
What's that?
And then I get home, and all of my friends have showed up in my house to watch the game too. And everybody's invested in the game and is not talking over the game. This is fantastic,
man. That's a great day.
That's one of my pet peeves. And then, oh man, they're like, you know what, Dan? You know what the best thing ever is? Your boss just called, and he said you don't have to come in tomorrow either
because you're fired. Like, no.
Because we promoted you to working whenever you want.
And you still get paid.
You still get paid a buku amount of money.
Man.
And what's that? I won a radio contest, and now
That's the what's that counter is at like 47 right now. What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? Dane, what's that?
I won a radio contest, and there's a brand new Tacoma in the driveway.
I think his realistic counter is starting to go way off the tracks here.
I forgot about realistic.
Yeah. As soon as you said the Cowboys win a game, I'm like, this isn't realistic anymore.
Whatever. They won several games. Anyways, and then I go to my room. My bed's not broken. The room's clean. I shower, and I go to bed, and I fall asleep, and it's a heavenly sleep.
Man.
Then I wake up not hungover on Mountain Dew.
That is a very good day. Honestly, I think both our days are very solid. I just want to have a few, I guess, honorable mention days.
Sure.
Being young, my favorite times of being alive was when I was at Kanakuk as a camper. So basically any of those days could easily have been one of my best summer days, especially when it's like a really nice day, not like crazy hot, but also not like cool. So it's like you want to be in like short sleeves all day.
Right.
And then typically the night would end with one of the parties, ideally a country party, because that means we're two-stepping. Two-stepping's fine.
Yep.
Fine, fun, etc.
Boys, grab her hand.
Yeah, it was a fun
permission.
time. It was a fun time back then. So that could easily be any of my top days. And then also with nights, when I said like dinner, I said Chick-fil-A. But honestly, when my dad would cook on his green egg grill and do some barbecue, like some good brats and hamburgers, that could be a really good night as well.
Be fun.
With some night swimming would be fun as well. So those are kind of like some honorable mentions that I thought about after the fact.
Also, all of my family happens to be at everything I went to this night. So
That'd be fun.
They're sitting at a separate table with my date, though. Or not with my date.
They're at a separate table with your date, and you're by yourself.
I'm with my date.
That's my perfect
They're
day.
At a separate
They're
table.
at a date with my date because I'm by myself.
Yes.
Wow.
No. You all know what I meant. But that's fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't know how that would go. And I think we had a lot more once we started going than we thought, and that's why we kept on having and that and that and that and that and that and that
what's
and then
that?
and then and then and then and we thought, oh, that's also fun. So and then so we both probably had some nice run-on sentences there, but hopefully you got a good idea on what our best days would have been. Hopefully you kind of thought back to what some of your best days would have been growing up and now. And hopefully we might have had some overlap there.
Probably did.
If you want to tell us more about your best days, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts,
Yeah.
Leave us a 5-star review on Spotify as well. You can't leave us a comment there, but if you leave us a 5-star review, we'll know you listened to this episode. And then also, if you just want to DM us, on the Add Until Next Week podcast Instagram.
DM Samuel.
Yeah. I mean,
regular against Instagram.
Yeah, you could do either or, and we can talk about that in a future episode. But I think it's a good time to kind of get to our sponsors,
I know a sponsor.
Number one, I would say it's still Jesus.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know you're expecting something different, but if you do, you should have been going to church because Jesus is still the number one sponsor of this podcast. We would not be who we are without him. We would not be friends. We would not be making this podcast. We would not be, I guess, like anything. So extremely grateful, eternally grateful for Jesus, and he is our number one sponsor of the week. Do you have any verses you want to spout off really quick?
Of course.
Yep.
I'm reading 1 Timothy right now.
Mm-hmm.
This comes from 1 Timothy 6, verse 17, just 17.
Mm-hmm.
As for the rich in this present age, charge them to not be haughty, nor to set their hopes on the uncertainty of riches, but on God, who richly provides us everything to enjoy. And that's super cool because it's like, I heard this saying one time everybody knows money won't make you happy, but everybody wants to find out for themselves. And I'm just like, man, looking at like how money can just pull you in different directions and different influences just from people.
Yeah.
Not saying that like making a lot of money is necessarily a sin. However, it does become more challenging to walk the straight and narrow path when that does happen.
When you don't have to rely on the Lord as much.
Yeah, you think that you did all this.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, like the Lord blesses with everything we need. And in Luke, it says that he feeds the birds of the air and cares for the lilies in the meadow. How much more does he care for you? He's going to provide, man. It's not going to be what we want it to be, but he's there, man.
Yeah. And that's why he's our number one sponsor of the week. Far down, number 2 is Jake Trust and Art. I haven't seen him in a few weeks. We're still in his house. I think he's still around. I don't really know. But he is still our number 2 sponsor because without him, we would not have this recording studio.
Such a good point.
Yep. And the recording studio is a kitchen table, but
this
it
is
works.
My kitchen table, though.
And you have a great background behind you because he has some of his art pieces on the wall. If you want to buy those from him, you can. Just
or
DM us or DM him
you.
And give. If you want to pay him 10% more, we'll take that as part of our fee, finder's fee,
Or finder's fee. Just go ahead and give him that monies.
So that's our number 2 sponsor of the week. And then number 3, it took some deliberation, but honestly, there's only one true number 3 sponsor of the week.
For this week,
obviously. Yeah. And that is Pedialyte.
Wow.
And, why is Pedialyte our sponsor?
Because it happens to be the only reason I didn't go into cardiac arrest today.
And if he would have gone in cardiac arrest, it would have made it a lot harder to record this episode.
We still would have from the hospital.
Yeah. So we're just extremely grateful for Pedialyte for keeping Dane going and keeping this podcast going. So Pedialyte, it gets you.
It gets you, I guess. But with that being said, stay cool, stay calm, stay collected.
Stay
and
hot.
Don't be a Karen.
Don't be a Karen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this has been the Until Next Week podcast. Dane ripped off his shirt and have a good week. Peace.
Peace.